Balance changes are coming to Clash Mini on May 4th. Let's check them out. Here's the Clash Mini post here. We can see BK, Natureborn, World Champion. Oh my god, Archer, Barb, Wizard. Bro, they literally went like BK 2.0. You're done now. Alright, let's first talk about BK 2.0 getting severely nerfed with, let's start off with the Barbarian King. So the Barbarian King, his invincibility will be decreased by 1 second. I think overall that was definitely needed. BK was by far the best here inside the meta. His survivability was absolutely insane. So toning down this aspect is going to reduce his overall strength in the game and leaving room for other minis. Because reducing the length of his invincibility would mean that he will probably not get the healing off, because I think it's 4 shots, BK gets a +4 healing. So that means when you reduce that invincibility, you reduce his healing potential and another big nerf to his survivability, which I think is very justified. We also have another mini that is a part of BK 2.0 that's going to get nerfed. It's going to be the Archer here, probably the most dominant mini alongside the BK here. And her base attack is going to go from 0.6 seconds to 0.5, a nerf very well justified. But I just think what makes her so strong is the fact that she can stack those hit speed boost, and I think that's where Clash Mini might not have hit the mark in my opinion. Now let's talk about the Barbarian here, a very deserved nerf to the Barbarian. I think also a very strong 2 elixir mini DPS that would get some insane value here. His base ability Rage basically won't be able to stack from 15 times, it'll only be able to stack 10 times, which I think also a very well deserved nerf for a very strong mini. It gets so much value. If it stacks up, it's just impossible to deal with, because it's gonna do these, even if it's gonna hit really fast, and also is gonna get those critical shots which will absolutely shred through anything that is in his way. So here, good job, Clash Mini. Alright, moving on to the last mini that is being nerfed inside of BK 2.0, which is going to be a Wizard nerf. So a very unexpected nerf, where his second upgrade, Spicy, basically his ability removed 75% of any healing that a mini would receive, and now it's coming down to 66%. I think if I wanna understand a bit more this nerf, because I feel like I don't feel like it's coming out of nowhere. It's probably because they want to, Clash Mini want to buff the brand new hero, buff the Natureborn. This nerf will indirectly buff the Deer and Natureborn overall. So I think that's where they're trying to go, and I understand it. But then again, for me, the Wizard plus the Valkyrie anti-heal was perfectly fine as it was, but this is going to be leaving a bit more option for the Deer to shine inside the meta, and I think that's the goal of the balance change teams. So now moving on to the Natureborn here, and so we're going to see a couple of buffs onto the Natureborn. It's going to be the first one, which is going to be that the Deer form is going to get an overall HP buff. A maxed out Natureborn will now have 2 additional HP to her Deer form. Now another buff that's coming to the Natureborn is going to be actually a bug fix, which is going to be happening, I think, on her overheal ability. Basically, her overheal ability as the Natureborn, as the Deer form, I think didn't work properly, or there was some bugs. It was not, the overhealing mechanic wasn't polished, so now they're fixing that, which means that the overheal coming from the Deer form will correctly give extra damage for a long time, and that's going to be bringing back the Natureborn into probably the meta. Who knows? I think it's going to be making her way more valuable. Of course, it's a buff, and I'm very excited to see what a viable deer form Natureborn could look like. Now we're going to be moving on to the Fisherman, which I think is maybe one of my least favorite change when it comes to this balance change coming on May 4th. Fisherman will no longer stop clash abilities, and I think that makes him very unique, very special, and that could be an ability that they could rework, where if you would upgrade that Fisherman, for example, the first upgrade would be that whoever he catches, it cancels his clash ability. I think right now the Fisherman's kit is really useful only at 0-star if you want to hook one person, or the second upgrade which hooks 3 person. And right now, if you want to make, nobody uses the first or the third ability. I have never seen anyone use it on a competitive level, at least. What I could definitely see is maybe a rework to his third upgrade, where basically the Fisherman would be able to cancel any clash abilities that he hooks. We're now moving on to the Mega Knight balance change, which, again, something that I wasn't expecting myself. I think Mega Knight maybe a little bit underwhelming, but I definitely didn't think he needed a buff. So he's gonna get a base HP increase by 2, which means his health is going to go from 20 to 22, and his base attack speed is being decreased. Last but not least, we have the bowler, which once again did not expect. I think the bowler was overall balanced. I didn't hear many people, at least, complain about the fact that the bowler was too weak. He is definitely amongst, when you're looking at 3 elixir range troop, he's definitely not amongst the best. I mean, we have a Dark Goblin, we have Musketeer, which in their respective niche do insanely well. So a little buff to his first upgrade, which is going to be a plus. His first upgrade, Strike, is going to go from +2 damage to +3. We'll have to see in game. I don't really have a solid opinion on that matter, but I just think it's going to be able to, as once again, make him a bit more of a viable 3 elixir ranged troop inside of Clash mode.